Welcome to Profit Tool Belt. Today we're going to be talking about change orders. There is a lot of heat about this thing. Change orders are generating a lot of debate, healthy questions, lots of good stuff being covered. I'm kind of surprised at some of the answers. But I tell you what I'm impressed by is how many people are like steady. They're on it. It's best comment I've heard, best comment ever was if the orders don't come from somebody wearing my logo on their shirt, it doesn't get done. I like that. But let me take you back to why this even came up as a topic. As you know, Profit Tool Belt, this podcast, we deal with all sorts of construction trades. It doesn't really matter which trade you're in. This is a podcast for business owners who want to be better at being a business owner in the construction trades. And so I've got a story here about a painter, painting contractor. I've got another story here where the site conditions on a cabinetry job were not up to par, and it led to a lot of change orders. But what happened was the communication wasn't very good all the way through. I'm talking about from the designer down, and then on site, and then PM at the company. There was just a lot of problems, and it cost thousands of dollars that could have been caught. So what I did is I've got some notes here so that I stay on track. Hope that's okay. I'm going to keep looking at these, but look, change order mistakes waste a lot of money. And if you're a business owner, that profit that you're pulling out of every job is really, really, really important. I know that sounds dumb of me to say, but it's the reason we're in business, right? If you're working in this company and you're basically just pulling a wage, then you're doing it wrong. Sorry, not sorry, right? I'm here to show you ways to fix that. This is one of the places. And, make no mistake about it, there's 1,000 little things we've got to fix to get you in the place where you have what you want, you have the money you need to do whatever you want to do with it. Money's just freedom. Money just gives you the opportunity, the chance to do what you want. It's your money. You do what you want with it. But if you don't have that money, then you don't have the choices. Everybody's got different goals and dreams, and I won't get into that here. Let's talk about the first situation, which is the cabinetry, and then I'll move into the painting contractor, quite a large painting contractor. But he got caught by surprise on this one, and it just happens. But you have to have systems in place for your team to understand change orders need to come directly from you or from me or my foreman or your foreman or somebody on your side because they can't be coming from the site super or the general contractor. Now, safety issues aside, right? Let's all understand that if there's a safety issue, it's a safety issue. That's a human health safety issue. That's got to be taken care of for sure. But you know what? Work orders, directions for work, which room somebody's working in, those orders have to come from you. You don't want a site super coming up and saying, I need you guys to move 3 floors up or 2 houses down or whatever you're doing, because that changes the nature of your work. That needs to go through you to your people. And the first time you see it happen, you need to just jump in it and talk to that super or that GC, or in some cases, as you'll see here, the homeowner. So let me talk about this. The site conditions in this cabinetry job, there was a lot of site conditions that impacted the job. Because, the cabinet makers, by the time they show up, all the other trades have done their thing. And the cabinetry guys, same as the tiling guys, are dealing with all the other trades having done their thing. And if the site super or the site GC is not on top of it, suddenly cabinets can be off by 3/4 of an inch, can be off by an inch, can be off by a foot. You don't know, right? If there's a mistake, if a door gets framed in wrong or a little off to the side or, the door frame sizes, all of those things. Anyways, that's what happened here. The general contractor went direct to the staff for some of these things. There were dollars missed in the thousands, and it didn't get tracked. And you already know what's going to happen. The changes that didn't get tracked by the project manager were never claimable. And we did the math afterwards, thousands and thousands of dollars. And so if you're listening to this, I'm going to ask you now, number one, do you have a system for tracking all your change orders? And number two, if you don't, why not? There's very simple systems. You can use a paper system, which is just have a simple form. And when whoever you're doing the job for asks you for a change, you put it on the form, even if you zero it out, right? So it doesn't mean you have to charge for it, but you note down that we did this change per your request on Friday at 12:21 in the afternoon and and you just have a couple of details there that you can look back on. What happened on this job is that none of those freebies got captured, right? None of those freebies got captured. And when this contractor went back to try to recapture some of those, the GC said, you already know this answer. The GC said, prove it. I don't have anything. You don't have anything in writing. Prove it. And that means guess who has to eat that cost? On top of that, this was minor in this case, but I know some of you have seen this before where it's a big deal. On top of that, you are held to making sure that change that was made is still up to code, up to standard, looks nice, works well, and that's just a crappy thing to do. It's crappy on the part of the GC. For those of you listening, I'm sure you like to run a tight ship. That's why you listen to this. But we need to all be tracking our change orders better. So you can do it on paper. I always suggest pick a color of paper, print a bunch of sheets, and keep it in your truck if you're using the paper system. I mean, we've got phones. We all have phones here. So email's not hard, right? You can have a template, an email template. You can keep it in notes. You can keep it as a document. You can document that. You can email it right away to the whoever is running the job on the the operational side, the GC, the super, whoever, the builder, and yourself, and even your foreman if you want. So that tracks it well. And then there's SOPs. There's software and apps that you can track that on as well. And if you're at that level, that's great. Now, if you're not at the software and app level yet, if you're not using those, I don't suggest you jump into it unless you're ready to do it. Start with the paper and the email system. Once you get that figured out, once you have the discipline of change orders figured out, then you can move to having a software system or an app that's super easy to track. They are really easy to track, and there's no reason you shouldn't be capturing that. I often put the challenge to us. Let me grab my calculator. Where is my lovely friend, the calculator? I don't know where it went. I need it. Here it is. My friend, the calculator. If you sat down with me and you said, all right, Dom, you're a hot shot. Show me how to make $100 a day every working day of the year. That would be, I would say, okay, well, I think we can do that. So we can show you how to make $100 more in profit. So $100 a day times, just for the sake of it, let's assume you take no vacations, times 365. You already know the math here. That means you want me to find you $36,500. Okay. I might come back and say, okay, well, then I want you to work with me and find a way to save $100 a day in leaks, where the profit finder actions could be in your company. And it's the same number. Let's say I'm now going to task you, let's find $100. So that's another $36,500. Can I not center that? So times 2, that's another $73,000 right there. Making an extra $100, change orders, saving an extra $100, making sure your people aren't doing the wrong things, plugging the profit leaks that are in your business. This is a $73,000 conversation. And so that's why I want you to pay attention to it. And if you're not, or if you're thinking about it, or maybe you've got a business partner and you're not on the same page, maybe this is a good topic to show them and say, look, this is a very real issue. And that issue has a price tag to it of $73,000, for which we could hire this person, that person, this person. You could hire a foreman for that number. You could hire another bookkeeper. You could maybe hire a couple of different positions in your company. But that's only by making an extra $100 a day and saving an extra $100 a day. So $200 a day, the impact to your company, $73,000. And again, if you work 365 days a year, we can do all the rounding we want. The math is the math. I don't care if it's $199 and 250 working days. It doesn't matter. You see where this is going, right? So that's why this is important. Let's see what we've got here. So the first thing I want to remind you is make sure you have a system for capturing change orders or requests on site. And then submit them even if it's 0, because I want the let's just keep saying the general contractor, the GC. I want the GC to know that, yes, we got the change order. Yes, we're going to do the work. And here's the paperwork for it, because we're a paperwork focused company. We're professional in what we do. And we're good guys. It's a 0 on this one. But eventually one's going to hit. It's $1,000. It's $800. It's $600. It's $1,500, whatever it is. And you've got the right to do that because you've earned the right by giving the freebies that you, just by making a judgment call, have done, right? So write them down, use a system, whether that system's paper, email, or software of any kind. And then number 3, run this business like a real business. Now, many of you have heard me say this before. It's the thing I go on and on about here on this podcast, which must be why you keep listening and tuning in, must be, is run it like a real business. And I'll put the challenge to you, just like somebody might put the challenge to me. Are you a contractor who has a couple of guys, or are you a businessman who happens to run a contracting company? And if you think about the difference between those two kinds of people, you'll understand why I'm urging you. I really want you to go get this money. It's $73,000. That's real money. If your wife is working in the business right now, or any ladies listening, if your husband's working in the business and you want him out of there, and you've got to replace their income for whatever task they're doing, would $73,000 replace that income? It's right there. The money's right there. See, the money's in your business already, and I want you to go grab it. Okay. And then understand that change orders are important. You'll be responsible for the outcome, regardless of whether it was done right or documented. So you need to document it. Okay. So, hey, listen, if you want to talk more about things like this, join me on Facebook. We've got something called the Contractor Strategy Group. And if you send a request, if you go look it up, just send a request, I'll see your name there and I'll accept you in, as long as you're a trade contractor and you're there to add value to the group with your chat and talk about subjects like this. This one has a ton of heat on it. I mean, people are up in arms and like adamant. I mean, the best line I've heard so far, if it doesn't come from somebody wearing my logo on their shirt, it doesn't happen. The other thing that I heard, which was really great, and this was from a painter, he said, my guys are apprentices, not laborers. What a great way to frame what your crew is doing on a job site, to say that my crew are apprentices, they're not laborers. That tells me that's a pro crew right there. Let's jump into the painting story. So there was a painting company here, and they were doing a residential job, and the woman, the lady of the house, asked one of the painters to help her out a little bit. She needed something moved. What she didn't say is that it was going to take 3 hours of that painter being a mover. Now, as you guys know, I've had my own painting company before, and you want to keep the customer happy. And I've moved couches before, but this guy got pulled off his job for 3 hours. And how many times have you and I been off a job site for 3 hours? Normal. That'd be short, right? Sometimes you're gone for half a day. Sometimes you're gone the whole day. If you have a crew you trust, ideally, you don't want to be on site at all, maybe to start it up and check in on it, right? So when the woman said, help me, of course, the guy went and helped. But that turned into a 3-hour moving job. Well, your painter's not a mover. You know, your painter has to be healthy because painters work hard and fast. Not harder and faster than any other trade, but you need your painter to have the wheels on so they're moving. And this guy was taken off the job for 3 hours. How much paint could be done? How many square feet of residential coverage could you do in 3 hours? And that was an unapproved change order. Really. The homeowner, I don't think she knew. From talking to the guy running this business, it didn't sound like the lady who asked for the help knew that she was taking this guy off his game for that long. She just wanted somebody to help her move furniture, but it was 3 hours. It's half a day. Half a day. It's a crazy amount. And so we just have to have rules in place. Now, who's at fault? It's as with any accident, it's a whole bunch of little things that happened to make it go off the rails, right? So let's talk about it myself. I'm not going to talk about my client here or anything like that, but just for me, it's my responsibility to talk to my crew. And as I said, if the direction for work doesn't come from somebody wearing this logo on our shirt, it doesn't get done, right? If the homeowner or the GC comes and asks you for work, always refer them back to the foreman or me as the owner. End of story. If it's a safety issue, you obviously do what's safe, wear your PPE and things like that. But I have to have that talk with my clients. The next thing I have to do is I have to have the talk with my crew. I just said clients. I have to have a talk with my crew. I also have to talk with my clients. And so it's a very easy part of kicking it off. If you got a foreman or a lead hand, a charge hand, if I'm the site super on my own job, I need to say to the homeowner or the GC, all right, so here, happy to be working with you. Let's do a site walkthrough, blah, blah, blah. And then the guy's name is George. I'm going to say, George, anything that needs to be done on this job, please go through me. I will direct my guys. I will tell my guys where to go, and we'll make sure this job gets done the way we both want, the way we both understand, on time, and then get to work on it. It's far too many times savvy GCs know how to push buttons and pull levers and try to get extra work done without paying for it. And I don't want you caught in that situation. And I say that knowing that some of you listening are general contractors and builders. And I just say it because I'm saying it. You can hold me accountable for it. I said it. Because you'd be the same. There's times that you don't want the homeowner holding you accountable for something you didn't get a change order for either, right? Hey, if you agree or disagree with me on this, leave something in the comments. Leave a note here. Get back to me. Find a place to voice your opinion on this. Change orders. What's the deal with change orders? Do they have to go through you as the owner? Should the builder, general contractor, or homeowner have the opportunity to talk directly to the crew, your staff, about making changes? Or do they need to go through you? That's the situation we've got at hand here. Again, I want to draw attention to the fact it's a $73,000 question we're trying to answer. So let's not take it too lightly, and let's go out there and run the best business we can. All right. Thanks, everybody, for checking in. I probably should have checked to see that the mic was working before I did just now. But thanks, everybody, for checking in. We'll talk to you all soon. Remember, join me on the Contractor Strategy Group on Facebook. It used to have a different name. Some of you are already in that group, and I've changed the name, so you'll see that show up in your Facebook feed. This is now called the Contractor Strategy Group. If you're not in it, come and join us. Join in the conversation and learn from your peers in this industry what we're all doing to make ourselves better and to take home more loot at the end of the day and run a business where we can take some time off. All right. Have a great one, everybody. Thanks for checking in. Bye-bye.